I never imagined walking away from my own dining room. That table had been the anchor of our lives for years. Birthdays, holidays, quiet dinners with pasta and cheap wine. But that night, something inside me snapped, softly, like a glass slipping from your hand before you can catch it. My name is Daniel, and I've been married to Claire for 7 years. We weren't perfect, no marriages, but I thought ours was steady, reliable in the quiet way that feels safe. Arguments faded quickly, love was steady, dependable. Or so I thought. Over the past few months, that steady rhythm had shifted. Claire started a new job, and her excitement was infectious. I wanted to share in it, to be happy for her. But every evening, she returned home brimming with stories about her colleagues, her projects, her boss, Evan. That name began echoing through our home constantly. Evan said this. Evan thinks that. At first, I brushed it off. I wanted to be the confident, non-jealous husband. But every time she mentioned him, I noticed the spark in her eyes, the one that used to be reserved for me. Then came the late nights. 2 weeks before that fateful dinner, Claire started coming home later and later. When I asked, she shrugged and muttered. Late meetings, her eyes glued to her phone. No warmth, no explanation. I sensed something wrong, but I had no idea how deep it went. That Friday, she announced we'd be having dinner with some of her coworkers, including Evan. I didn't want to go, but refusing would have sparked a fight, so I agreed. It'll be fun, she promised. I wish I could say she was right. The restaurant was sleek and modern, buzzing with laughter and the scent of wine and grilled meat. Her colleagues greeted us warmly, but my eyes were drawn to Evan, tall, confident, that practiced grin hiding just enough arrogance. Daniel, finally the man of the hour, he said, offering a firm handshake, the kind that feels like a subtle test. Good to meet you, I said politely. Claire slid into a seat beside him. Not beside me. That small act stung more than I expected. Dinner began innocuously enough, light conversation, polite jokes, work stories. But as the wine flowed, the atmosphere changed. Claire laughed louder than I'd heard in months, leaning into Evan's side, brushing his arm more than once. And I watched, silently. Then came the line I'll never forget. Evan joked about office romances being inevitable. Claire turned to me, a mischievous glint in her eye, and said, "Don't worry, darling. If I ever cheat, it'll be with someone worth it." The table erupted in laughter. My chest didn't. It just went hollow. I could have shouted, created a scene, demanded respect. But I didn't. I looked at her, then at Evan, then at my untouched drink. Calmly, I placed my napkin on the table and said, "Excuse me." She froze. "Daniel, where are you going?" "Home." "Enjoy your dinner," I replied, and I walked out. Not hurriedly, not angrily, just deliberately. Every step felt like years of my marriage slipping away quietly. The night air was cold against my face, my hands trembling not with fury, but with the weight of understanding. I sat in my car, watching the restaurant glow, the laughter inside oblivious to the fracture it had caused. When I returned home, I didn't slam doors or shout. I sank onto the couch, thinking about who I had become. The man who tolerated late nights, the man who mistook distance for independence. Claire arrived around midnight. Her heels clicked hesitantly against the floor. "You just left," she said softly, as if I had done something wrong. "You humiliated me in front of strangers," I said. "You treated our marriage like a joke." "It was a joke," she stammered. "You're overreacting." It hit me then we weren't even arguing about the same thing. I was wounded. She was protecting her ego. There was no bridge left between us. I began packing a bag. She followed, tears streaming. "Daniel, please don't do this," she pleaded. I zipped the suitcase slowly. "I'm not angry. I'm just done pretending this is love." She didn't speak after that. Perhaps she understood the finality. I walked out, carrying a calmness more chilling than any shouting could have been. That night, I stayed in a budget motel off the highway. The sheets smelled of bleach and strangers, but I slept deeper than I had in months. The next morning, my phone buzzed with her messages, missed calls, apologies. I didn't reply. I scrolled through old photos, vacations, anniversaries, lazy Sunday mornings. They all felt staged now, like scenes from a play I hadn't realized was ending. Sometimes betrayal isn't an act. It's in words, attention, laughter that once belonged only to you. That night, Claire crossed a line I hadn't known existed, and the moment she did, there was no going back.